open mic. We got our list over here. Whatever you guys want to do, whether it be rap, songs, dance, whatever it is y'all want to do, we got it here. But because of what we have been reading, turn it down, kid. Just stop the music for a second. We know that when we read in Nehemiah chapter 8, every time they got ready to do our Feast of Tabernacles, this is when they got together. This is that every 7th year they got together and read out of the law. Now, of course, we don't know when that first year would be. So we don't know when that 7th year would be because we have been so far disconnected from those things. So we are going to just begin those things and start doing that. So we're going to begin tonight just by reading some things out of Yahweh's law. So I'm going to start in Deuteronomy 6, and I'm going to start reading some things out of it so that we can get back to part of the culture and everything that Yahweh has given us, because we don't want to be trying to figure this stuff out when it is time for us to get back in our land. This is Deuteronomy 6 and verse 1. Now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which Yahweh our Elohim commanded to teach you, that you might do them in the land whither you go to possess it, that you might fear Yahweh your Elohim, to keep all his statutes and his commandments which I command you, you, your son, your son's son, and all the days of your life, that your days may be prolonged. Hear therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with you, that you may increase mightily, as Yahweh Elohim of your fathers has promised you, in the land that flows with milk and honey. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh your Elohim is one Yahweh, and you shall love Yahweh your Elohim with all your heart, and with all your soul, and with all your might. And these words which I command you this day shall be in your heart, and you shall teach them diligently unto your children, and shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, and when you lie down, and when you rise up. And you shall bind them for a sign upon your hand, and they shall be as frontlets before your eyes. And you shall write them upon the posts of your house, and on your gates. And it shall be, when Yahweh your Elohim shall have brought you into the land which he sware unto your fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give you great and goodly cities which you build not, and houses full of all good things which you filled not, and wells dig which you did not dig, vineyards and olive trees which you planted not. When you shall have eaten and be full, then beware lest you forget Yahweh, which brought you forth out of the land of Egypt from the house of bondage. You shall fear Yahweh your Elohim, and serve him, and shall swear by his name. You shall not go after other gods, or the gods of the people which are round about you. For Yahweh your Elohim is a jealous Elohim among you, lest the anger of Yahweh your Elohim be kindled against you, and destroy you from off the face of the earth. You shall not tempt Yahweh your Elohim as you tempted him in Mesa. You shall diligently keep the commandments of Yahweh your Elohim, and his testimonies, and his statutes, which he has commanded you. And you shall do that which is right and good in the sight of Yahweh, that it may be well with you, and that you may go in and possess the good land which Yahweh sware unto your fathers, to cast out all your enemies from before you, as Yahweh has spoken. And when your son asks you in the time to come, saying, what mean these testimonies, the statutes, and the judgments which Yahweh your Elohim has commanded you, then you shall say unto your son, we were Pharaoh's bondmen in Egypt, and Yahweh brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand. And Yahweh showed signs and wonders, great and sore, upon Egypt, upon Pharaoh, and upon all his household before our eyes. And he brought us out from thence, that he might bring us in, to give us the land which he sware unto our fathers. And Yahweh commanded us to do all these statutes, to fear Yahweh our Elohim, for our good always, that he might preserve us alive, as it is at this day. And it shall be our righteousness, if we observe to do all these commandments before Yahweh our Elohim, as he commanded us. That is Deuteronomy chapter 6. And one of the things that Yahweh has commanded the children of Israel is that we rejoice on his holy days. So let's get ready to party, because it is a commandment. Turn the music on, brother. All right, the list is open. I am the husband to read what I believe from an old grandpa. Most of my trials and tribulations and all the things he saw. It seemed like he was always happy because he loved us. But I found out that he just wanted the best for us. I had a house and a degree by the age of 23. He never graduated, but was so much smarter than me. I mean, than I, or better yet, than we. He opened up my eyes to all the things I couldn't see. Made me go in front of him just so he can watch me hard and he laughed. And looked and told me all that I did wrong. I was educated by trial and error. Sometimes he was yelling me so I get used to terror at the time. And then he said, like a blessing, all the haters are around. And I don't be stressing if my fear gets near. And I'm in my darkest hour right now.
Tell me where the love at, where the love at, tell me where the love at, where the love at, tell me where the love at. I say back in the day, it was hard to make a friend. Baby girl didn't understand what I was doing then. I took a good look at the state my people in, bringing back the deeds of my familiar fake friend. The things that we experience will come around again, recompensing the atrocities that's calling unto men. When friends turn away anticipating your defeat, be a patient condemnation to the wicked for the meek.
Remember how we used to love. Remember, Judah, how we used to love,
All winking with the eye, when speaking with the feet. Children narrowly escaping by the skin of their teeth. To justify the wicked killing truth upon the streets. To the hungry soul, every bit of thing is really...
You may write me down in history with your bitter, twisted lies. You may tread me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Does my sassiness upset you? Why are you beset with gloom? 'Cause I walk like I've got oil wells pumping in my living room. Just like moons and like suns, with their certainty of tides, just like hope springing high, still I'll rise.
Never ever call y'all, find a man named who never got things so hard. And he used to see of his noise to bring forth the body that would hold up the sun, so he keeps the priest good and he mix it with the gas.
Don't you mind people grinning in your face? Just bear this in mind. A true friend is hard to find, so don't you mind people grinning in your face. Y'all come on and sing with me. Don't you mind people grinning in your